Welcome back to Homie House, everybody. Today we got a legendary guest here, Voorhese.
Yes, we do.
And we also got my co-host here, Rec.
How's it going?
And I'm Gare. And this man here, he is from the beginning times, correct?
More or less.
So I really want to kind of give him the floor and just tell us how he began playing and when he got into competitive Melee and just kind of players from back then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey. My first exposure to Melee, most of the kids nowadays wouldn't have no idea how this works, but we used to have CRTs kind of mounted above us so that if there was an earthquake or anything like that in Walmart, we would just get crushed by them. Remember that?
Yep.
So I saw Melee for the first time in a Walmart.
Yeah.
This was back, I didn't have internet or anything like that, so there was no, I had no idea that it was coming, right? I just saw it one day, and I was really excited because I saw Bowser, I'm like an edgy 8-year-old or something, and he sucked, even as a little 8-year-old, you could tell he sucked, and then, I went several years probably without seeing it, until my brother got it. And we went on a family vacation to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
We went up in the mountains. We had a cabin my mom rented out for us, and with Melee, we kind of ruined the vacation because that's all we wanted to do, just sit there and play Melee.
Oh yeah, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because after 4 days or whatever with the game, my brother was kind of getting over it, But I was obsessed, of course. And it wasn't until a few years down the line that I got his GameCube as a hand-me-down.
Ooh.
And that's kind of when it all took off for me.
So what year would that be?
About 2007.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
2007. I just had gotten it. I had enough friends that, everyone played it, right? This was back in the time period where, even though at that point it was like 6 years after, Brawl wasn't out yet.
Not yet.
Anybody who wanted to play anything like that, there was no other alternative like there is nowadays. So, I got into that with some friends. We had some mock tournaments for school, things like that. And then we would travel to our first real tournament, and it was at this frat house at Purdue.
Oh, okay.
And there was actually a decent turnout, especially if you look at the skill level for that time period.
Yeah.
Just some random little frat house tournament. We had people like Vro, Chicago, Trail also from that area at the time. Zijin, you guys probably don't know him, another Ice Climbers player.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, there was obviously Kane Kitsune. Those guys, a lot of really strong players for the time period.
Yeah.
And this is back when I played Ganondorf.
Oh.
Yeah. And my friends, we all thought I was really strong. Just with the local scene, without being a real scene, like that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Melee's comprised of a bunch of people that were and maybe still are the best on their block.
Yeah.
Like everybody's that person. So.
Oh yeah, I was still giving Rusty Chicken shit about that last year. I was like, I'm the best in the neighborhood now, so.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, going to this tournament the first time, you have any nerve issues?
I didn't. I was really confident,
Yeah.
But I mean, I was 15.
Yeah.
15, and there was no opposition locally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're the leader of the cul-de-sac.
That's how it is. Yeah. But I get down, and the first person I sit down to play is Ho Chi Minh Trail. Trail, right?
Wow.
He's playing Link though. Just for shits.
Mm-hmm.
And we sit down, and I think the very first game I ever played against someone who knew what they were doing, he four-stocked me with Link.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend's like, "Oh man," I could hear him talking like, "Oh man, must be something wrong."
That was canon though, right?
There's something's wrong. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm just like, no, he just beat the shit out of me. Like that's all there is to that. But yeah, honestly, Melee for me at that point in time, coming into that scene, especially as young kids, like from we're all in high school. All the dudes that we met at the frat house were super welcoming, just great dudes, and it really kind of set the tone for me and how I looked at Melee from then on. It's always just been kind of a second family for me. Major resource in so many aspects of my life.
Yeah.
Whether it's self improvement or just having people to talk to, seeing different perspectives on things. There's so much that it has to offer.
I'm sure actually on that end, in my own playing of Melee, I kind of came to find out that a lot of the skill set I developed with guitar, in terms of method, how I go about practicing, I was able to solidify that through Melee. I'm curious if that carried over in other hobbies you have.
Oh, no. I was one of the things that I kind of regret now is just diversifying my interests. Growing up, before I found Melee, I was really big into chess, and I liked the idea of boxing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where my class ring for high school it was really cheesy, and I had chess and boxing.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, chess and boxing. And then down the line, chess boxing itself became a thing, right? And
actually, all right.
At that point, I already knew about that.
I
was in on that.
The next local one we hear about, next like Montana one or whatever, chess boxing thing.
But yeah, once I found Melee, it just took everything when it came to that. The way I think and approach things, obviously, it does translate really well to pretty much everything, If you look at people like Magnus Carlsen, right? He, no matter what he's thinking about, he's probably having it some way related to chess. You know what I mean? Like his brain is just, it's been rewired and wired that way.
For sure.
So I'm sure there's a lot of the things when it comes to learning new techniques, exploring options, and those kinds of things. There's definitely been an impact on just how I see the world in general, just mechanically as my brain was wired to do that.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like, I'm sure you probably notice a lot of development through playing in terms of the troubleshooting process you apply in anything you're really doing at this point.
Yeah.
Sure, being able to grind out a new tech and understanding the process about grinding out that tech now, that can carry over to any hobby or activity you're doing,
Yeah, especially, you take it a step further, one piece of literature that's really popular in the Melee community is The Inner Game of Tennis.
Oh, yeah.
That was honestly one of the only books that I've ever got through on my own, just because I wanted to. I always hated reading in school and felt like I was wasting my time, probably because I just wanted to play Melee at the time. But
actually, on that note, that was one of Rodney's first suggestions for me to read when I got back into the scene about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I'm kind of curious, did he get that from you as a suggestion?
I don't remember I think he was probably in on it at some point. He has all kinds of resources. I know he's got like the what's it called? Some poker book that he recommends a lot too that I haven't got around to looking at.
Oh yeah, I think he suggested
the mental game of poker or something like that. So some I don't know exactly what it's called, but he's got a ton of resources. That dude's really smart.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind me asking, we both know that you're a Fox main. For the most part, I know you have a secondary Sheik, and I know back in the day, you had the Pikachu.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Ganon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ganon was where it all started for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Back in the early or mid 2000s. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So how did the switch happen?
I can't remember the name of the tournament. There was this one tournament that I stopped in at. It was a kind of a regional. It might have been predated Bot Maze. I can't remember what it's called, but it was some local Purdue. But back then everyone was so tightly connected that we got people from all over to come. And if I remember correctly, that might have been one of NES Noob's last tournaments. I think that was the last time I had seen him before he was taken from us in that accident. But NES Noob being one of the players that I played, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with anybody at that level.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, I was getting chain grabbed, I was getting tech chased, like Ganon really just didn't have it. And at that point I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And I decided that I'm going to have to play a top tier. Because like we talked about, my friend group, I could get away with a lot.
Yeah.
That was clearly not the case whenever I came into the actual scene.
Yeah.
And I had gotten more comfortable and worked my way through that, and I was doing pretty well with Ganon still for a while. But again, we take another step further. Now you go from a local to a regional tournament. You get all those guys from all over the Midwest, and you realize like, wow, they're really good, really good. So yeah, I just decided cold turkey. I was just going to switch to some broken character. The two options for me were Falcon and Fox. I settled on Fox because he's better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, simple. He's just a better character.
Hey, that's Covey's rule of thumb. Covey being a old relic from the Fort Wayne scene.
Better character.
But you also played Pikachu for a while, didn't you?
Yeah. So I had still do have a bit of a Marth problem. And I fell prey to the, we'll say propaganda that Pikachu does well versus Marth, know? And like, if you're fighting people who don't know what they're doing, like Pikachu could kill him, Yeah. But I think on paper the matchups either even or very slightly Marth favored.
Honestly, thinking about correlation of Samus in that matchup is pretty similar on that end. There's a lot of
Pikachu
versus Marth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where it's like everyone tells you the matchup's probably in Samus's favor.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm kind of in a similar mindset of it either being even or slightly in Marth's.
Yeah, I mean Marth's good.
Yeah.
Good character.
Good Marth is really hard to keep up with.
Well, and again, it mostly just comes down to like matchup familiarity. Like it's the same problem. Like, Fox has it in the opposite way. You just have to be playing well, and you have to know what you're doing because every person you play knows how to fight Fox.
Exactly.
And Marth, now with Marth's increase in popularity, he's starting to be on that side too, where
Rank 2, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Zane made him even more popular, so everybody has to know it. And not just that, we're like, whenever I was playing Pikachu, Slippy wasn't a thing.
Oh yeah.
We had Anther's Ladder, which was good for the time.
Yeah.
Obviously now we see that it's a little dated, right? New technology and all that, but
it's like my setup, right?
Yeah. we worked on that earlier. But we would sit there, and as a Pikachu player, I could rely on a little bit of me knowing what worked and like some cheese and stuff to get away to help push bad situations or whatever, catch up. Nowadays, Pikachu's become a more popular character. So you see more of it, everyone sees it.
Yeah.
And then Slippy, I've run into characters that I've played a handful of times in person, like in a bracket.
Yeah.
Like last time I sat down to play Slippy, I really needed to buy ranked because out of three people I paired with, it was 2 docs and a regular Mario.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, unranked, holy shit.
That's for sure.
So these matchups, a lot of those, you get that practice now too, on top of it all. So,
honestly, Slippy could be one of two things. You either get fantastic variety in low tiers and mid tiers, or it's the Valco Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah, actually, right after the Marios, the next person I got was Moki playing Falco. So yeah, no, absolutely. Lots of Falcos and low tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much only play secondaries on unranked because I'll just get taunted and BM'd constantly if I play my main. So
makes sense.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking about the Sheik, what made you decide to pick her?
So anyway, have a bit of a Marth problem.
Yeah. Just an upgraded J-Mook propaganda, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
I fell for the J-Mook propaganda this time.
I don't blame you.
Really impressionable guy.
I don't blame you.
I think that propaganda was right on the margin because my Samus versus your Sheik feels unwinnable.
Yeah, Sheik's just good. Especially like Sheik is one of the characters that, as new techniques and stuff come to light, I've noticed Fox, Falco, and even Marth usually are the ones that are hurt by that.
Yeah.
Sheik's punish game being so grab heavy, and sort of auto combo-y, she's one of the characters that really, it doesn't affect her nearly as much.
Yeah.
Like SDI out of drills and things like that, or like platform slide offs and things like that. It's not really all that big of a deal. She wants you off stage anyway, and you can't SDI or grab, so like she's only benefiting from most of that stuff as it comes up. So I feel like she's always going to be super solid, and mechanically just a little bit easier than Fox and Marth. Yeah. So you could take some focus off of playing super fast and being in control, and just like, well, my character's really good at crouching. All my combos are just off a down throw and stuff. It all just kind of works. You don't have to. It's
squeezy.
Just playing good. You just play good neutral.
Yeah.
And you're set.
Yeah. You get to focus mainly on fundies as opposed to tech skill and all that.
Yeah.
And that makes her a lot of fun to use. I will say that much.
I mean, granted, you watch people like J-Mook, and he's doing the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Of course. So and it's fantastic
he's inventing
to watch.
Shit on the spot.
It's awesome. It's super fun to watch. Yep. But yeah, it's nice to just have like a little bit more of a reclined character that's still amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, I'm sure it probably helps in certain counterpick situations. Just like Marth, for example. Yep.
Yeah, or Samus. Characters that kill Fox pretty good if you don't know if the Fox doesn't know what he's doing, and he has a little bit of a harder time punishing that character, like Samus. A lot of his bread and butter stuff's gone. You kind of have to rework your play style, whereas Sheik's just like, I just do the Sheik things.
Yeah.
And they just work.
Especially against Samus, just like short hopping over moves, getting the fairs, just in general how great her moves are in terms of.
Yeah. Got a long back air.
Yeah.
Can't get CC'd as easily, and needles off stage.
Oh god.
Super good.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah.
All right, so bringing it back to where you started playing Melee. When I started playing Melee in like 2016-ish, you were like from Decatur.
Yeah.
So what regions and stuff have you all played in?
I think for the most part it has been pretty exclusive to Indiana. Started off, I lived in Monticello, pretty much just got to play with the Lafayette scene. At that point in time, like I said, I was 15. This was prior to any Slippy or Uncle Punch or anything like that. So I'd be practicing shield pressure on like a Bowser with a Starman. Stuff like that. Yeah. And there's no one really local who could push me super well. I did have some pretty loyal friends that would play it, honestly, just because I wanted to, not because they necessarily wanted to.
So you were winning tournaments at Lafayette?
No, not really. Okay. No. I did a few times after a few years, but that's mostly just because everyone moved.
Okay.
Probably. But yeah, from there I would just go to Purdue, and honestly, I would just go to Purdue every couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, go home, practice by myself, and then like say I was struggling with someone like Marth, I would just sit there and play Marth, and then whenever I'd go to the next tournament, I would play Marth versus Foxes and try to see what they were doing and copy them. And this was like, even though it was like 2007, 2008, the only footage you could find on YouTube was like MLG stuff from 2004 and stuff. So people you were playing were already really, really strong. I mean, obviously, it's not like the day where a couple years the average player is so much better than the 2 years before.
On that note, like thinking about like back at the IPFW days when we were all going to weeklies, like 2014, 2017. Just thinking about the average tech skill that you would expect going to those weeklies compared to now, it's like night and day.
It's insane.
It's like what I see on the basis of players now is like the top level tech skill when I quit playing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually because of how much solo practice I had at the time, because there weren't the resources we have today.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I've always been known for, was my tech skill and how fast I am. But nowadays, it's like literally someone's been playing for a year, and they're that fast.
Yeah,
they're there. They're there. And I'm faster than I was back then because I have to keep up too,
Yeah.
But yeah, the kids today, they have such a nice thing going for them. Yeah. A lot more prize money than back then, Yeah, if they wanted to try to make some dollars out of it, but
gotta have that $50 bonus pot.
I mean, you gotta think, right? Like for me, like I said, I was obsessed, and I'd come home and from school and put in 8 hours or something like that, some ridiculous amount that I should have been doing. And it was all just me like in training mode, you know what I mean, or just fighting a computer. And like now, I could be playing I could just be queuing up against Moki on accident on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like,
on a Tuesday.
And then if I don't feel like playing anybody, I could run through save states, or there's so many options for me to improve. But I'm old and lazy now. You know what I mean?
Around what time did you start gravitating towards the Fort Wayne scene?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, sure. So it pretty much honestly just came down to moving. I moved to same situation as when I lived in Monticello, which is a little smaller town outside of Lafayette. Mm-hmm. Had to go to the Lafayette scene. I moved to Decatur, and which is 30 minutes southwest of Fort Wayne, and it was a similar situation to that. Back then, really the only people who were playing were in Fort Wayne, and that would be like Grayson, Waylon, aka Ben Rain, Ovaltine Hot, KBG, and Aaron. Those guys. Oh, and Shinedex too. He's been coming around, and so is Nick. But anyway, pretty click heavy, just because they were the only people that played. Yeah. So there was never like a weekly you would go to, and everyone would come into the weekly. It was always you just go to someone's house. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was all there was. And I actually ended up growing a small scene in Decatur with the likes of Ori, Tyler Boomershine, aka Strawberry Love.
Yep.
We had Hard R, Adam Einstein. His tag was now it's Free Ouija, I think.
Oh yeah.
I can't. Yeah, he hasn't been around for a while, but those guys got to the point where we were fairly competitive as a sub scene with Fort Wayne. Mm-hmm. And then I think once Nick got Robbie and Rodney kind of into that time period, that's when it started kind of exploding again on its own.
I know when we started the Xscape weeklies, I think it would have been 2014. If I remember right, a lot of us showing up to those initial ones was like me and Chris, Robbie. They'd see you and Ori and maybe one or two people. And Seth.
Yeah, that was like a second generation. Basically, the second generation of Decatur Melee alongside, like, I don't know, the sixth generation of Fort Wayne Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of it. It's just evolved so much all the time. Now I walk into an event, especially like not even just Fort Wayne. If I go to an indie tournament or something like that, there's so many people I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about it.
A lot of like what I've done in terms of research and for like PR, when we're doing full dive, understanding seating, I'd go through, I'd look at the online tags these people, see what their slippy ranks were, look them up on PG stats and all that kind of stuff to deep dive. Yeah. There's so many people now that are active. It's crazy.
That's awesome. It's awesome. But then we're old, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's like...
I don't do that.
Got shit to do.
I don't do that one.
I guess
all three of us don't go to too many tournaments, and, there's no other way really to keep track of people,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Try to trick them to come into Fort Wayne for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying.
I know.
So, about when did Fort Wayne start having weeklies then?
Man.
I know there was one Power 9. That was before.
Yeah. I
had heard of that one, but I didn't go to that one.
Yeah, I think that only happened like 3 times or something like that.
I think Xscape kicked up right after that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I can't remember if... I think Xscape was before the Purdue IPOI location. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think we ran that for, I think it was about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then we moved to IPFW after that with Xscape, that old venue shutting down, which is a heartbreak. I love that place.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely had some character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, the weird part for me was everyone that worked there were people I went to high school with.
Oh really?
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah. For me, they're just random people.
Yeah.
They all seemed way older than us.
They're like Dakota, for example. He was one of the guys that worked there. They were all about at the time would have been like 21 to 23.
Yeah, about the same age I was then.
Yeah.
I was older than most of the guys there, so out of the scene anyway.
Yeah, until I came along. Right.
I think you and Nick and Bear Kidney are like the only 3 people older than me.
Yeah. Bear Kidney's got like the same birth month as us. I'm pretty sure.
As us?
Yeah, November.
Yep. Same year too.
Well, you're 92, right?
Yeah.
I'm 91.
Yeah, so I thought you were a year older.
Yeah. But Bear Kidney's
I think he's like even old. He's even older than a year older than me. He's like 34 or something.
I seen him at Big House and stuff before when I went. Hung out with him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss seeing him around.
I think he signed up for Afterburner, right?
Yep, Bear Kidney did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm lucky. I get to see him at FXI once a month.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
That's your jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, have you ever played Adventure Mode?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have. I think whenever I was a lot younger, once I got into the competitive scene, I really didn't bother.
Yeah.
I maybe would do stuff just to try to find glitches and things like that for fun. That's always been honestly like the most fun part of video games for me growing up, was just finding ways to break what I was doing.
Yeah. It's
like a sandbox with rules that are already pre-made, so you try to find out new shit. That was always so much more fun to me than anything else.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Should try messing around in Skyrim sandbox. Play around with all the glitches.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a fine line for me. Like if the game is known to be buggy versus not.
Yeah.
Like if I just know the game's a shit show, then like it's not quite as interesting.
Yeah, like Melee's bugs look cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Or like I was talking about my friends who are back home in Monticello. We would play like Halo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, most of what I wanted to do was like not build stuff in the custom maps, but just like try to break things.
Yeah.
You know, try
out
like,
of the maps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
We used to do that Halo 2, Halo 1.
Yeah, that's so much more fun to me than just playing it.
Yeah. I love all the Easter eggs and hidden gems in Halo 3. And
yeah. Yeah. Well, especially the ones that aren't even necessarily intended. You know, like we had one of the little projects that I had that I wanted to work on in Halo 3. You could throw a bunch of mines out on the ground, and it would just like overload something, right?
Yeah.
And it would make it so you could clip some kind of turret through certain walls, but you could have somebody on that turret, and so they would be outside of it. And then I would try to like build like a battle rifle, like 1v1 arena outside so it's like pitch black and, you know, just stupid shit. And like my friends are all just like, come on, let's just play the game. You know, I just want to play the game. We're like,
I love Forge mode.
We're doing it. We're doing it right now.
We are
Sit there and wait, you know? Yeah.
So I got a question. Why is your tag Voorhese?
So yeah, I started playing Melee when I was like 15. So prior to that, you know, that was back whenever like Yahoo chat rooms and things like that were a thing. Yeah. And I hadn't really thought of a name or anything to call myself, so I was trying to think of something, and I had just like got a box set or something for my birthday of the Friday the 13th series, and so I was like, yeah, let's do that, you know. And the problem I ran into is that getting a name was just impossible. Like all the usernames were taken, and it was like, well, and so I was like, well, maybe if I just spell it a little different, I can have it. And then I kept trying different things, and eventually, I gave up. You know, I tried underscores, I changed the spelling a little bit, and then eventually it's like, no, that's not available. But how about this one? And it was Jason_Voorhees 329 with Voorhees spelled wrong. And I was like, fuck it. You know what? Like, I'm like 13. I have no patience at all. Like, that's fine. You know?
Just trying to play the game.
Yeah. And so, like, that was already my email address and everything going into, like, Smash boards.
Yeah.
So, originally my Smash tag was Jason_Voorhees 329. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's too cringe. So, I ended up shortening it to Voorhees once I had the option to change my name finally on Smash boards.
Hell yeah.
That name scheme that you had at Smashboards really reminds me for some reason of Morse codes like full tag.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Chillin' Dude 829 and all that stuff. Yeah. Back then, everyone's names were all goofy. A lot of them.
My tag was just my RuneScape name, so
yeah,
that's what it was.
See, my full tag I made in 6th grade, and it's also not safe for work.
Yeah.
That'll be on the premium episode.
Heck yeah.
So, you've played in Fort Wayne for a long time. Who's your favorite Fort Wayne player?
Fuck. Favorite Fort Wayne player? That's hard.
It's a loaded question.
That's really hard.
Take all the time you need.
But see, the thing is, like you're saying, I've been here for so long. I've gone through generations of players. Man, I guess it also kind of just depends on like what the criteria is. Like my favorite in terms of play style, or
how about this? I'll give you favorite inactive player and favorite active player.
Okay, all right. Well, favorite inactive player, probably Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's Decatur.
Yeah.
He's Decatur technically.
But he always showed up at PFW too.
Yeah,
so.
right. Yeah. I mean,
He showed up at X.
he was as Fort Wayne as I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, either Seth or Ovaltine Hot, probably. Yeah. Or maybe say Yoshido. Before he moved to Chicago and then retired. He was here for a little bit. Active player, man.
Not HPR, right?
Not HPR, no.
Stealing all that prize money.
Mm-mm.
Man, probably Robbie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's a good
that's
one.
my pick.
Yeah, Robbie's goated.
Yeah.
I just tune into the fucking stream just for like a little bit. I see Robbie do some crazy shit. I clip it and I leave.
Yeah. Robbie and Matt both have this thing where...
Whoa, Matt's not that active, right?
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, just Robbie then. He's the only option.
Yeah.
Nah, but they both have this thing where they can... If you just, like, tune in to a 30-second... Any 30 seconds of people playing, you'd be like, damn, that person's the best person in Fort Wayne. You know?
Mm-hmm.
There's like a 30% chance if you watch either of them play, you're just like, damn, they're the best.
Shit, do I want to play here?
Yeah. But, yeah, that's a problem with Melee, is just keeping the consistency up. That's the hardest part.
Honestly, on that end, Robbie seems to be so consistent.
Yeah.
You know? On his worst days when he's coming up to a weekly and it's just not vibing at all, the dude's still placing exactly the same.
Oh yeah,
bodying people left and right. You know.
I think he has a mental block against me specifically, and if he didn't, he would probably be winning half of our sets.
Have you guys gone to Game 5?
Oh yeah, I think we went to Game 5 last time we played.
Hell yeah!
I don't remember for sure though. If not, it feels like it every time.
Feels like it every single 30 seconds.
Yeah. If I conscious for any 30 seconds of that set, could be
back to reality.
Yeah, no, he's really good. I think confidence is probably the one thing holding him back. Yeah. And it's hard. I mean,
especially when you have to play Rodney every week.
Right, and I mean that's something we were talking about. You guys were talking about too. Is like just comparing the average skill level of Fort Wayne to other regions.
Yeah, so we get our ass beat.
Yeah, we start looking at like people like Matt and Robbie. Like the people they play the most often are Rodney, myself, Toast. Like they're playing high caliber players as far as Indiana's concerned, exclusively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you have to play one of them at least.
Yeah, they're gonna sit there and like especially Matt. You know, he'll go in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like okay," you know. But then he'll go. We took him to Summit. And, you know, he destroyed the crew battles he played in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I've seen him on an online crew battle before, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's because all the people he plays is the best players around. Yeah.
And sometimes me.
Hey, I enjoyed when Matt had, like, that 2-month debacle of not remembering the Samus matchup. I loved it. Fella just ran into all my up tilts.
Yeah.
So, going forward to the future of Fort Wayne, what's something that you'd like to see?
Well, we're in a position now where honestly we have the highest chances we've ever had for the scene to grow and for every player to become, on average, the best that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the moment, Fort Wayne Melee, if everyone who was here was active, we may be the strongest scene that Indiana's ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, we have...
I've been saying that.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
We got Prince of Boo now, who has only come to a handful of our things, but he's won every event.
Yeah. He's crazy.
Obviously, we have Rodney and Toast. Grayson's coming back. We have Banana Sack. I know he hasn't been super active recently.
He was a little active last year.
Yeah. I was told it's primarily because of work stuff, and like he's expecting that to kind of slow down a bit, and he'll be more active.
Oh, awesome.
I'd say that's a less than 0% or a greater than 0% chance that we could convince Seth to play, but because he just moved back.
Oh, really?
Bought a house, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, though, he's doing so well, and he's so far in his life that I honestly kind of hope he doesn't want to play Melee, just because I don't want it to distract him.
Well, think about it too.
No shout out to Seth.
The mental improvements of having that quality of life now.
Yeah, right.
They pop off playing.
Like I expect him occasionally to hang out just because we're friends.
Yeah.
He'll come and hang out with the boys or whatever, but I don't see him ever
competing to be on PR.
I hope he doesn't. I really do, because I think he's in a good spot, and if he's anything like he was when he was younger, and he managed to get where he is despite Melee.
Yeah.
And so like that's good on him. Rodney's the same way. I blew it. You know what I mean? Like I put way too much time in Melee. I'm lucky to be where I'm at.
So when did you start winning weeklies?
I have no idea.
Have you ever won a weekly?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Really, the question is, when did I stop winning weeklies?
Oh, okay, all right. So when did you stop winning weeklies?
Yeah, I mean, it was whenever Rodney kicked it up.
Did Rodney and Toast kick it up at the same time, or was Rodney before?
Rodney was definitely before.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there was a period of time where...
I definitely remember Rodney being there, but I didn't have to play him as often because I felt like there's more people at IPFW.
Mm-hmm.
So... Yeah,
Rodney got good... I don't know. I want to say 20... I'm really bad with dates.
Yeah.
2014, 2017, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I remember at IPFW, there was quite a few weeklies where you guys were always grand finals.
Yeah.
And I remember you both just trading off on getting some really good wins.
Yeah. There was a time period where obviously with him passing me, it wasn't an overnight thing. There was a couple weeklies here and there he would win, and then we would be about even, and then steadily pulled ahead. So that's where we're at.
I seen at the end of the year tournament that you took a set off Toast.
Yeah. Fox Dittos, man.
Fox Dittos, all right.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you taken a set off HPR?
Not counting low tiers here at home.
Yeah, not low tiers.
Oh man, I think the last one that comes to mind is some tournament at Bard's house. But that was too long ago.
2018, 2019, something like that.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Time just keeps passing by.
It just keeps coming, man.
But that's why I had to get you on here to get this history. You gotta document this shit for all the Melee players to come,
Yeah. I'll just beat him next time.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's one thing I have confidence on. I bet your Slippy rank is higher than Rodney's.
Don't have one.
Oh no.
He said that he doesn't have ranked.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I should get it though.
You'd have a lot of fun with it.
I think so. Honestly, it'd probably be pretty good. It'd either be very good or very bad for my mental health.
I'll say this. Prior to playing Slippy, I never once had a rage issue with Melee. The moment
that's so true.
Well, the moment I started being active on Slippy, it's like it was a slow decline, and then rank kicked off. And I'm I'm so ragey on Slippy now. I can't stop.
Yeah, I did have a taste of it back on Anthra's Ladder.
Yeah.
But I didn't have great internet and stuff, so like it was a little easier to blame it on some network stuff, just because there was an inevitability that I would have some stuttering here and there, and cognitive dissonance takes over, and you start blaming things on whatever you can do to protect yourself. But I mean, if I were to play ranked and I were to care about my rank and stuff like that, I would prefer it to be in a situation where like anything that happens is my fault, But yeah, man, I did taste a little bit of that too, where you just have something you want and you don't get it.
Yeah.
That's how it is. At least in a in a tournament setting, you have all your friends there, and you get to see the person and see that they want it. You know what I mean? And
you humanize them in the process.
Yeah, exactly right. And so like,
gotta look Cronin in the eyes. You have to play him.
I've lost some sets that hurt in real life, of course, and the one bit of solace you can take is you see the person's excited, and they got their friends and everything cheering and all that stuff, and you're just like, all right, well, whatever, At least they're going home happy, And it's like you get on Netplay and you lose some Yoshi player, and you're just like, fuck that guy, We're playing Yoshi anyway. What is he doing?
You pop on Discord, you might be on the Melee Online Discord, all of a sudden they're tagging you and being like, hey, the set sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I left that shit. Everybody hates me.
Yeah. I know, I'll probably give it a try. It's only like $5 a month or something, right?
Yeah.
It's super cheap.
It's worth supporting the cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. It's long overdue.
I don't play it, but I'm subscribed.
Yeah.
Well, I might now. We'll see.
We fixed your Slippy setup.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll see.
Hey, and you can always do what I do. I have a Slippy account for Fox with Ranked. I have a Slippy account for Samus with Ranked. I have 3 technically. Yeah. And a Fort Wayne Melee Ranked account.
Oh, I thought that was here.
Well,
it was his account.
Okay.
It's technically one of my accounts, but yeah, they're getting like $20 a month from me.
Nice.
So
they deserve all of it too.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it really just he? There's only one guy.
I think there's like a team, but
I think they have a team now. I think was it Fizzy that?
Yeah, it was just Fizzy from my knowledge, but I mean, I guess it's so big they probably had to help. He had to probably help get some help.
There was also like the Slippy Brief Play thing before Slippy.
Yeah, right.
That I think somebody from Indiana was involved in.
Yeah, Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki.
So, what is your craziest set?
Well, I'm gonna back it up, and we'll talk about. I'm gonna consider it my craziest set, even though it's 3 sets. Mm-hmm. There was a regional tournament. Well, I say regional a little loosely. Regional in terms of Indiana.
In terms of the time, too,
yeah, right, exactly, yeah. Down in Indy, and Lance in the Pants and I had 3 back-to-back Game 5 last hit sets in one tournament. And every single game went to last stock last hit.
Oh my gosh.
So 15 of them. Or rather 14 of them. 15 of them. It was insane. I came out on the losing end of that. But I mean, you can't beat the rush of that many nail biters in a row. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. And it was like no one knows about. You know what I mean? Like no one knows about it or cares. Mm-hmm. Just one of my favorites because it was rough on your brain.
Oh, I can't even imagine. It makes me think of a lot of the sets I played with Robbie. Just nail biters.
Yeah.
Stressing. I got the tournament shakes, even though we're playing friendlies sometimes.
Right. Oh yeah, and I mean this was in Grants too.
Yeah.
It was winners finals and then 2 sets of Grants. Yeah. So like it was. Yeah, high stakes. I mean, again, it was a different time period, so there wasn't we weren't playing for like hundreds of dollars or nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was easily my favorite set. You know, it's 3 sets, but it's all one set to me, man. It's all the same day, all the same day. So.
Placement. We currently have Nethercool, voorhese, as we have here. HPR and a few other really good Indiana players coming out to that tournament. It'd be awesome to be able to have a big turnout and a lot of people to show up to have fun. Past that, it'll be March 9th, and we do have a discount code currently in effect due to us being added to Afterburner late. If you apply the code Melee10 up until January 25th, you will be able to get $10 off of entry. Post January 25th, the entry will be going to a full cost of $35. But what that entails is just registering soon as opposed to later. So
it's on a Saturday. Everybody loves Weekend Melee.
Yep. It's going to be a nice event, and I believe the hours of operation are going to be 10 a.m. to, I think, 11 p.m. at night.
Ooh.
So there's also Ultimate as well as Street Fighter there. Just keep in mind that you can only register for Melee or Ultimate. You can stack Street Fighter on top of both. So.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that part.
Yep.
Well, we got another regional coming up. You might have heard of it. It's called Full Bloom. I myself will be there. But more importantly, Voorhese will be there.
Not about more importantly. I will be there. I'll be there.
So, before we were kind of talking, you said you kind of have a history with Full Bloom. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's more like personal stuff. Like, I never really helped run it or anything like that. Some of my better memories for Full Bloom, or for Melee, come from Full Bloom. Teamed with Axe at a Full Bloom.
Ooh.
We did Double Pikachu.
Double Pikachu.
That was real fun.
All right.
The first Full Bloom, I think we got second in teams.
Ooh.
To Principau and Dreffen.
Ooh.
I think probably the most important Full Bloom to me, though, I can't remember. I think it's Full Bloom 5. I was considering that Full Bloom to be my last tournament, and for whatever reason, it just so happened that I got to play the Championship Sunday pretty much the entire day with just the top players. I sat down with Amsa, Zane, S2J, Wizrobe, and Hungrybox. And it was really funny. It was just me being at the right place at the right time for a couple of for a decent chunk of it.
Hell yeah.
I went and sat down and asked Johnny if he wanted to play, just because I've met him, a few times. Mm-hmm. And he agreed. We played a little bit, and then he had to go. But pretty much right when that was happening, Wizrobe came over to warm up for None with S2J. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I play Falcon, And so we sat down and we played 40 minutes or so of Falcon Dittos. And then Hungrybox came over to get None practice from Wizrobe right as he had to go. So then I played Falcon with H-Box for, again, 30, 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he came and found me again to warm up for another Falcon. And then I was like, we played that. And then it was getting close to the end of the tournament. And I was like I play Fox. I don't really play Falcon. I play Fox, And so we played Fox for a while. And we played that matchup for a little bit and prep for the higher end matches. Mm-hmm. And that was when I talked to him a little bit and told him that I was thinking about it being my last tournament. And he was telling me I shouldn't, just need to focus on one character and just kind of grind it. Mm-hmm. That I'd had the fundamentals to do well, and that he would be sad if I stopped. So it was a push. Added several years, I think, to.
That's when he was number 1 and 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we joked about flying me out to warm him up with all the random characters like Pikachu and Ices and stuff.
Hell yeah. Your Ices are sick too.
What's funny though is he actually brought it up. He's like, "Oh yeah, you got a Ices and Pikachu too, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that his friend Crush did some. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Crush the.
Wait, no, it's Crunch.
Crunch. Yeah, not Crush. Crunch. Yeah, he was. Whenever we actually did the Fox stuff, they sectioned off an entire half of the friendly room, mm-hmm. and Crunch was stopping people from going over there.
That's
when
funny.
We were playing, yeah. And then Leffen came and sat down at the very edge of that and practiced, but he was really just watching H-Box and I play for an hour.
Oh yeah. Man, that's crazy.
It was really fun. But yeah, I mean that definitely gave me a bit of a boost more ways than one. That full bloom is really the only reason I still play Melee. So
hell yeah,
big. So I do feel I owe it to Full Bloom for the opportunities that I've gotten from that series.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up, though. So what do you hope for the next Full Bloom going into it? We're a month away, right?
About a month away, yeah.
Isn't it like March?
I think that's isn't it end of February if I remember right?
Yeah, it's the very end of February. It's like
23rd.
Yeah, 23rd, 24th.
Like yeah.
So it's like exactly a month away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as like my own personal expectations, I've been pseudo active, if not inactive, for so long. Like I can't really go into it with any hopes to do anything in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to go hang out, see people I haven't seen in a long time, try to get some good games in.
Oh yeah.
Just trying to make it more of an experience this time. I may ask and see if I can commentate again. I don't think I've commentated a Full Bloom. I've commentated some Smash and Splash and some other bigger tournaments like that. So, they'll probably let me, but I haven't commentated in long, so that might be a liability. I'm not sure.
I know we're talking about potentially having you come out on stream to do commentary for Afterburner.
Yeah, I can use Full Bloom to practice up.
Yeah. Use the gigantic term.
Yeah, shake the nerves off of it. Yeah.
Only a couple of thousand people.
Yeah, then we'll get down to like 20. I'll really perform
well
for 20 people.
you'll get on the clip channels. People are like, man, this man's cooking.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like fun. I mean, I'm more excited for teams than singles. Just always, I always am.
This is the first time I'm playing teams in a long time.
Who are you teaming with?
D-Mac.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, he's a long-time childhood friend of mine. So
nice.
He's the one that forced me to play Melee.
Yeah.
So.
Dave's Falcon is slick.
I'm probably gonna go Sheik in teams for a little bit of it, unless there's an opposing team that has a Sheik. Then I'll probably go Ice Climbers. We'll see.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll make it that far.
ICs aren't great in teams.
Yeah.
They're okay. I mean, Kid Boogie plays ICs in teams.
Yeah, I remember you talking about him too.
Yeah. I can't remember what that was. Impact or some indie tournament. Tempest, maybe. I don't remember.
What the Fox? No.
That might be it. Might have been What the Fox.
Something like that.
Yeah. Got to play teams versus Kid Boogie and Cobb. And then after the teams tournament, Kid and I just money matched everyone we could in teams.
Hell yeah.
That was a good time. We also did some reverse main money matches, and that was a lot of fun. My Icy's in his Fox.
How would you get all these new players into teams?
Dude, if I knew, we'd already be there.
Yeah. Well, we're done with that modded game, so maybe doubles could make a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I love teams. I think
Would that get you to go to more tournaments?
Probably. I mean, the thing is I might just pull the Cutting Kitsune and just focus on teams.
If it got too big,
Yeah, he doesn't really. I mean, he doesn't even play teams really anymore that I know of. But there's a long period of time where he just kind of retired from singles altogether, but you could still catch him in teams brackets.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I definitely have a lot more fun playing teams than anything else.
If you could go to any major, money is no object, where are you trying to go?
Probably a Gommel.
Gommel?
Oh, yeah.
That's relatively close.
Yeah.
Right?
Gommels, from what I hear, are amazing.
It's
amazing time.
Super major now, I believe.
Yeah. And there's a lot of cool history. The production value is always really cool.
Yeah. All the TVs are like decked out with like graffiti and stuff. Yeah, that's a cool one to actually go to. You have to get a
passport.
Yeah, visa. Yeah,
I have one.
I don't.
I do have one. I've never used it. We were actually planning on going to Canada at one point to go stay in a cabin, and didn't get around to it. Those passports last for fucking years, so
okay.
I think mine's still good.
Oh man, I've never been able to travel. Never even looked into getting a passport.
Yeah,
can't imagine.
I think the furthest I've ever traveled is California, and I loved that place. California was so nice. I had no idea how bad the air quality was here until I got to California, on the coast, where it kind of washes the air or something for you. I don't know what it is, but it is. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just thinking about it got me coughing.
I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like we live in even like Decatur, or like some small town. You get out there and you're like, wow, the air just sucks back home.
We're breathing in toxins and our water tastes like butt.
Yep.
Gotta get out, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Gotta get the liquid to clear the throat.
I got an old Coke from a couple days ago. That's what
Coke is the best medicine, man.
That's what they said in the 80s. Or before that, I guess. I don't know.
I think they might have been put a little more something in their Coke, though, back then.
Original recipe. So 2023 is over. You got ranked 3rd.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
Indifferent.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't gone to a whole lot. And Rodney's so far ahead right now that the only person I could expect to ever pass, right, with the amount of tournaments that I go to is Toast. So,
I feel like you guys go to the same amount of tournaments.
You think so? We're just never at the same ones.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, for me, it's like the weeklies are on a Thursday, and they don't start until, like, technically the same time I get off of work.
Yeah, like 7.
And then I have an 11-hour day the next day at work, so it's hard to be in the mood to go commit to that. But I try to make special circumstances drag me in, like when Indy comes down or something like that, or up, you know.
I know we've had Acid visit a few times now.
Yeah, I also got baited into coming. I was told Acid was going to be there, and it wasn't. I think that might have been the tournament that I beat Toast.
Yeah.
I was like,
in the year tournament.
I know there was a few we tried to plan it out, and it was a last minute cancel just because stuff came up.
Yeah.
I think they ended up working over that one in particular.
Right, and weather or something too. Yeah. That last one.
You got any other Indiana favorites right now?
Players?
Active players.
No.
Not looking to take any names in Indiana?
Oh, you mean people I would like to beat?
Yeah, I mean, is there any top level Indiana players that you're gonna whoop on at Full Bloom or Afterburner or Homie House?
Ideally, at Full Bloom, I don't have to play anybody from Indiana.
Yeah, true.
But
let's have the Kilroy thing where Toast and
Rodney play for fucking getting not top 32 or some shit. I don't remember what it was.
I think Rodney was the one to eliminate Toast.
Yeah. He didn't make top 32, I think, because of that. But I think that only happened because Rodney got upset or something. I don't remember. Yeah, it's always a shame whenever you run into your friends like that at a national tournament or a regional or whatever.
So you ain't got no beef in Indiana.
Oh, man.
All right.
I don't even know half the people anymore.
Yeah, true. We were talking about that. Well, I'm sure a lot of people will tune in just to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. My beef's always with performance. Just
yourself. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's real as shit.
I think for the most part, everyone in Indiana is pretty chill.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with modern Melee in Indiana is there's been times where whenever I was first coming back from COVID, basically not playing for 2 years or some shit, you know, I would make the drive to other regions, and the top players, because it was an event, like wouldn't play friendlies with me because they were worried about doing well. It's like, I didn't come here for that. I came here to play you.
Yeah.
You know, I came here to shake the rust. It's like, even if you do beat me, like, who gives a shit? I played 2 years. You just play me. I just want to play the game. That's why I'm here.
Certified not a slippy kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, and especially back then, whenever
2020.
Whenever COVID hit and everyone got super fucking cracked.
Yeah.
Because of Slippy. Yeah. I didn't have the internet for it. So like that's 2 years of me not being active, and also 2 years of everyone else having like a gold mine of opportunity.
Yeah. Especially when
didn't
it was
have to
more
go
high.
to work. Yeah.
Dude, thinking about it too. God dang, Slippy was just so beneficial for players across the board. Being able to get all that practice. It's like I took a 5-year hiatus from 2017 to 2022, and in the time frame of grinding Slippy over the 2 years or so since I've come back, it's like I've been able to catch up to everyone just because you got the tools for one, and you're getting so much good practice off of Slippy, you know.
Oh yeah, it's crazy at the moment. with all things considered, I have like the most and best tools that I've ever had to improve as a player. Mm-hmm. But I'm like in my 30s.
Yeah,
I mean, I got shit to worry about. So like, it's kind of a cool joke, you know. I went from bare minimum ways to improve to getting to the point where, you know, I was notable and doing really well, and then COVID hit and I fell behind. Everyone got nuts, and now it's like I feel kind of guilty taking. If I were to take advantage of all the tools that I have now, I would be so much time.
It's like cheat codes.
I'm not saying I feel guilty because like it's cheating. I'm just saying like, you know, being an adult and all that stuff and having to worry about real shit now. It's like I'm not being fair to myself if I do utilize everything, or if I don't utilize everything, and then if I do, then, or rather, if I don't utilize everything, I'm not being fair to like the potential that I have, right? And then if I do, then it would take up too much of my time.
Yeah.
So
work, personal time.
Yeah, right. So things that I have to do. So really, I'm kind of in the same boat I've always been, just kind of not practicing all too much and just getting better from playing the people every once in a while. But it is a shame now that at least on my end, that I have all these tools and don't feel like I could utilize them. I am happy they exist though, because Melee deserves
It'll
it.
live a lot longer because of it.
Yeah.
On the bright side, we'll keep getting these slippy kids popping up with crazy new tech.
Yeah.
Be able to watch them do it, adapt.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but like they don't have years and years and years of bad or outdated info. Too.
Yeah, true.
You know, like I was talking about back in the day, whenever I'd practice my shield pressure on a Bowser with Starman and stuff, and like realistically, that's a little different even than hitting a shield. You know, and that'd be the kind of stuff we'd have to do, and everything when it comes to neutral game, people's understanding of that. You know, concepts in punish game and when to let things drop and reposition, all those things. There's tons of bad info over the years, you know. And I mean, if you look at sports, right? Like can you imagine a pickup game between like just like random kids from the 90s versus some kids from today? Genetically, they're going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
But we got generations of people that like Michael Jordan inspired, now inspiring new people.
Yeah.
And just like with any other thing, in any other sport, as the sport evolves, the floor evolves with it. Things that were absurd back in the day, you know, are commonplace.
Yeah.
So it's like I have, you know, especially as old guys, we have to deal with all these new kids having really good, either really good fundamentals or their play style ignores fundamentals to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they go right into punish.
Yeah, exactly. They're so quick to convert into a punish that less neutral matters. You know, because back in the day, it's like, you know, if you had someone like that who was just really technical and their punish game was pretty good and they were real fast, it's like, yeah, but like, how can they deal with people just not moving?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, they wouldn't kill you off of one hit. So like, you would over time win out on more neutral exchanges because you're slowing the pace down and outthinking them. But now it's like, you just guess wrong once and you're fucking dead. And it's like 80% of the people you play, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get I miss a wave dash, I get fucking shined off stage. Yeah. I'm dead, bro.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems I had with games like Smash 4 and Ultimate when I tried them was like, I always felt like the neutral game felt so degenerate because nobody was killing off of like one hit.
Yeah.
So you had way more leeway to just kind of check. You know?
Well, it makes me think of Smash 4, one of the most optimal things to do was just run up and hold shield.
Yeah.
Like, wait to see what they would do, you know?
But you're also not going to get punished that hard if you just throw a move out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's why shit just felt... whenever I watched it and whenever I tried it, it just felt so degenerate. Yeah. And we've come full circle now where I feel like Melee neutral's that way, too. For the opposite
Touch
reason.
Touch of death,
Yeah, we went... Yeah. 4 was that way because it didn't matter if you got hit or not that much. But now it's like, well, as long as I hit him, it's fine. You know, it's fine. So you don't have to. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, going from like pre-brawl Melee to Melee nowadays, it's a completely different experience.
I noticed too with Ultimate in particular, a lot of the fundies in terms of neutral and whatnot, they carry over pretty well to Melee, believe it or not. When we see some alt people pop over, for example, when Scrubbed Out was popping into P+, a little bit of Melee here and there, fundies and their understanding of neutral was amazing. Obviously, they didn't have the conversion on hits and whatnot just because they weren't used to it, but yeah, it's just interesting to note. I also noticed that to a lesser extent, coming from Smash 4 to Melee, seeing people do that conversion. They'd always have better fundies in terms of like neutral, how they're thinking about neutral, how they're thinking about the exchanges and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's Melee. I think early on, and actually paying homage to a tournament that happened recently. I think they did a crew battle of a Melee player on Ultimate, and then they did another one where it was the alt players playing Melee.
Oh wow!
And the alt players playing Melee had tremendous mileage. On the flip side, the Melee players playing Ultimate, everyone got hogtied by the first player, and no one made progress past taking that like first stock.
You think it's because the Ultimate players are playing Melee in secret because it's cool?
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
I think Slippy helped evolve them too, but
yeah,
they're like, well, this game's got rollback, so.
Think about
that's true. Yeah, their netcode's pretty shit. So.
There was a Samus player on there who's doing like the E-Sam missile cancels and all that kind of stuff. So they've obviously grinded out the tech, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess in that case, I wouldn't really consider it a fair comparison.
Yeah.
And because I mean, like, what if we used H-Box? It's like, oh yeah, he's a Melee player, but like, plays Ultimate.
Yeah.
You know?
He's got those fundamentals forever.
I think he's in top 200 in Ultimate now. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think that was a thing that happened about, I think a little under a year ago. Finally hit top 200. Man's a top player in 2 games.
Nothing like Leffen, though.
Oh, yeah. Leffen's
Leffen was crazy.
Oh.
I'm glad he quit that.
He quit what?
Well, he quit Ultimate.
Oh, Leffen?
Yeah.
I was just talking about in general.
DLC
gear.
Even at Ultimate, though, he was pretty cracked for a while.
He, kind of defined them at early on in Z Fighters.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the big people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leffen's crazy.
Oh, man.
So what kind of hobbies do you have that are not Melee?
Mostly Path of Exile. That game is...
Okay, so what is that? I have no idea what that is.
It's an ARPG. It's started out... I think game came out like 2013. It's supposed to be like a spiritual successor to Diablo 2. Mm-hmm. Significantly more complex than Diablo 2, even when it first came out. But I've only played it a few seasons, but it's absurd. Like the complexity and depth and just the way the gameplay, everything is so addicting and interesting that you can be exploring some stuff and like doing research and feel like you're wasting time because there's other things that are more profitable to be doing, and it's something. It's something.
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Melee, you know? Yeah, Melee.
You constantly hit those new thresholds of new info, new knowledge, new routes to go down.
Yeah, right. Well, and the cool thing about that, too, is like, and I'm sure this is pretty commonplace nowadays, but I hadn't really played other games other than Melee up until like a couple of years ago. There's like seasons, you know? So you get all the knowledge, obviously, is going to carry over to the next season, and then the idea is just to see how far you can get in each season and see how well you can do, how much currency you can accrue, and that kind of thing.
And I know, like, a lot of the games that do seasons, they typically have, like, challenges and certain rewards you do throughout that season.
Yeah, they do that, too, and it's all cosmetic. The game has no pay-to-win aspects.
Hell yeah.
There is a little bit of, like, pay for convenience, but it's just, like, stash tabs. Mm-hmm. The game's really, really, really well made. It's addictive. Easily the most addictive thing I've ever experienced.
Honestly, just hearing the fact it's not a cash grab is just such a big...
Yeah,
that's huge.
That's like the only way I'll get into a game, probably.
Is if it isn't a cash grab?
If it isn't.
Yeah, right.
I've never bought a skin, nothing like that my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, you can, right? You have that option.
Yeah.
And they're cool. I mean, they even sell, like, effects for... They can put skins on skills themselves. And how your moves and shit look. So it's like, well, I'm going to be... I'm gonna be playing this build for a while. I'd rather make it look cool or something, you know.
Yeah.
But like you got to think like if you just like take a game like imagine Diablo 4 or something like that, a game you're probably more familiar with, and you change your character's this big on the screen, and you change how it looks. It's like who gives a shit? You're gonna tune it out anyway, right?
Yeah.
But if you're changing the way the move looks, then you're obviously gonna be way more affected by that long term.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially because anybody who plays an ARPG for the most part, they're not looking at their character because you're looking ahead, trying not to get killed.
Yeah. Just like in Melee, staring at the opponent.
Yep. Or the mini map or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're just sitting there looking at your character, you're in trouble probably. But yeah. Pose absurd. Absurd game.
Past Path of Exile. You got any outside hobbies in terms of like for example with me and guitar? You got anything kind of like that?
No. I'll play chess every once in a while, but nothing super serious. Outside of Melee being my primary hobby for half my life, you know. Just now getting into some other stuff like Path. I mentioned how up until just a couple of years ago, I hadn't really even played games solo player, like single player or anything like that. It was almost exclusively multiplayer games, but even past that, not really cooperative ones either. Pretty much just wanted the social aspect of playing against other people. But up until just a few years ago, I played Hades.
I've heard of that.
And that game is great. Good game. Kind of made me decide I like single player games enough to continue trying them out.
Yeah.
That was just a fluke, you know. I got a gift card for a Nintendo eShop or something. I was like, well, I got to spend it on something, right? So
you're the Nintendo gamer of the family, right?
yeah, exactly. Well, and actually, what's interesting is, you know, the mysticism and stuff that happens whenever you're a kid, especially back in our age when we were playing, where there wasn't really like walkthroughs easily accessible, when you weren't watching people play it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Everything was more of like you were exploring the game for what it is, and you know what I mean?
It reminds me of like back when I was a little kid, and remember Pokemon Red and Blue were out, and you were anticipating Silver and Gold coming out, but it wasn't announced yet, and everyone was talking about there being a secret way to get Mew, and there was a secret way to get Peekaboo at the time.
Yeah, right. Yep.
It was just different.
The cul-de-sac rumors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that type of experience we got from a kid, as a kid, I think a major part of it obviously is that we're kids, right? But a big part of it too, I think, is that we don't have all the information that we have available right now just shoved into our faces, whether we choose to or not. And so whenever I did decide to buy a game with that gift card, I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't look anything
I'm
up.
the same way.
Right?
I don't watch previews or nothing. I'll be like, new game coming out, I'll either buy it or I won't. I'm not going to look anything up about it.
Yeah, and that made the difference for me, you know. Especially with Hades being a roguelike, the entire idea of the game is you're just supposed to jump in, play it, learn it as you go, like you know what I mean? So literally it was just like the perfect storm for me getting interested in games like that.
Honestly, on the end of roguelike, I'm kind of, I don't know if you have checked it out, but I definitely recommend looking into Elden Ring. Just on the end, it's not a cash grab for one.
Right.
And it's one of those games where you can put thousands of hours, and there's so many different builds, so much variety, so much to explore.
Yeah. That all the Souls-like games are ones that's kind of like on my back burner for trying.
Yeah.
My big thing is I did really love the roguelike genre after getting into Hades. I transitioned to Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, yeah.
That game's great.
Fantastic game.
Regularly listen to the soundtrack for that at work. I mean, the main thing about those that I feel like it sets them apart from like the Souls genre, at least from my understanding, not having played them, is like the Souls genre is a little bit more linear, and it's more about just like learning the patterns and things like that.
Yeah, I'd say, especially with Dark Souls 1 to 3, that's definitely set in stone, especially leaning towards closer to 3. It's definitely more, like, linear.
Yeah.
One thing I did love about Elden Ring was just, it's easily the biggest open world game I've ever played.
Okay.
And you have so much flexibility. There's no set path. There's no nothing. You could effectively fight the boss in the first area last.
Okay.
You have no set kind of goal in mind, if that makes sense.
Okay, well that definitely makes me feel more likely to play it.
Yeah, Elden Ring has been the outlier.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, have you ever heard of like I Want to Be the Guy? You ever seen that game?
I'm not.
It's like a platformer where it's just bullshit, and the idea is just you gotta memorize all the shit, and it's really annoying, and yeah. And that's kind of how I've interpreted people talking about the Souls games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. Whereas like with games like Hades and Risk of Rain, it's more like it comes down more to like the build you're building as you go, and not like I memorized this spot.
Well, yeah, and honestly, thinking about that with the Souls games, that's going to be set in stone regardless.
Except for with Elden Ring, you think?
I'd say so, because like it's down to how it's balanced. You know, you're level 1. If you know the animations, you know the timing. It's just like in Melee. If you're really a Fox player, you'll just win. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's true also for like Hades and stuff. But the experience of Hades and being able to run through the game again without having looked anything up, and just kind of familiarizing yourself with different skills and all that stuff, that was a lot of fun for me. So. I mean, I'll probably give the Souls games a shot. The problem now is I'm just so obsessed with Path. Melee's on the side right now.
Oh, yeah.
Melee's that side bitch.
Yeah. I think Elden Ring is the only game I've ever played close to my Melee hours. My Melee hours are easily, like, I couldn't even fathom how much I played, but Elden Ring, I know I clocked in 4,000 hours in, like, the first, like, 6-7 months of me having the game.
Wow. That's crazy.
I think I ended up having 8 builds, and each of them had at least 500 hours on them.
Yeah, I mean
that's crazy.
That is, because I mean I feel like I've done crazy amounts of time playing Path, and I'm only at like 1,600 hours in 2 years, and a decent amount of that's just me leaving my game on and going to work and shit.
Well, keep in mind I was unemployed for 2 months of that.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Yeah, that will do it.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to Melee though. All right, so who's your favorite top player?
Club.
What?
Club.
Oh, yeah.
I fuck with that.
Or AMSA.
Or AMSA?
Yeah.
Don't fuck with that as much.
AMSA's amazing.
Yeah, no, he truly is talented and works hard and deserves everything he's got.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Not looking at Plup Samus, I wouldn't really consider his game super innovative at first glance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just damn solid.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And just make great decisions. You can always see like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And AMSA, same thing, except he didn't really have any foundation to come off of like Plup did. So
oh yeah,
AMSA's probably the most impressive player to me of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
That reminds me of I think it was a while back, but I think he got seated above Mango several times. I think I think it was last year in particular.
Yeah, there was 1 year he was in contention for first in the world if he had a good tournament and the other people who were in contention didn't. Mm-hmm. He was this close.
Yeah,
to getting first in the world.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an impossible feat. You know, I mean, like it's not comprehensible the amount of work and talent that is taken to do that with a character that you have nobody to fall back on.
Oh, and that makes me think about like the expectations people have on you when you're placing as well as he was already.
Oh yeah,
all that kind of stuff going into it too.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. The more you think about it, you try to put yourself in the position that he's in. Like even excluding the hard part, which is developing a character to that level. Look, like you're talking about the mental fortitude you have to travel across the
He's
planet.
a public figure for that character.
You have to, yeah. He has to travel across the world and then do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's something else.
Speaking
inhuman. Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Amazing players. We got Mango, Armada, in Hungry Box. So, who's the GOAT?
Probably Armada.
Armada? He's just that sick with it?
Yeah. That's how it is.
Is this secretly a callback to the classic Voorhese Armada?
Oh, god damn it. No.
So I've never heard the story. I've only heard the memes.
You're gonna have to find out on your own.
Oh shit!
Gotta look into the memes.
I can't outrun that fucking
In the
shit.
in the premium episode.
I just wanted to play as Peach, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That Peach was insane. Oh my god.
Yeah, I counterpicked him to Dreamland just because I wanted him to play as Peach, and then he did, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just goof off."
What can you do, you know?
Yeah, I asked him to play Peach. He's like, "Nah."
Turd.
And then I was like, "Well, I'll take him to Dreamland." I was like, "Dreamland," and he's like, "Nope." Okay. I might have actually done better if I had a chain grab on, like full-fledged chain grab, like on FD or something instead.
Oh yeah.
But I had no intention of playing Pikachu at all that set up until I was like, well, fuck, I didn't get what I wanted, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time to enjoy it.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So now we're in 2024. We got Zane and Cody at the top. What do you think about them? Are they future GOATs?
It's hard to say. I mean, the biggest thing is they definitely, the way they approach the game is different than the other people who have been at the top in my, the history that I've seen. I don't want to say it's more casual.
Yeah,
right? 'Cause they're definitely trying their hardest.
Yeah, they're
putting everything they
sweating.
have into
Yeah.
it.
Just constantly.
It is an interesting dynamic, though, that they choose to play each other for the most practice. Which, I mean, good on them, right? Like,
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you look at California, there was a time period where you would see Mango and Lucky at the top.
Yeah.
No one bitched about that.
That's true.
It's
That's
just
true.
there's just other people who are doing as much work across the globe, and that we're not seeing that.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
Zane and Cody just started getting blackout drunk together in the same room.
It's not their fault, right? You know what I mean? Mango and Lucky they could lead SoCal or whatever, and if other people can't catch up, like that's one thing. But afterwards, they could still travel and play other people of the same or higher caliber. But with Slippy, we talk about the resources and everything that people have.
Yeah.
They have like a specific person that they can hook up with anytime they want now. And
Oh yeah.
that's where we are.
All these discords and ways to communicate are streamlined for these players to be able to meet up. Especially on the top end, things like Melee Online, like they'll have their own group chat to be able to reach out to each other for friendlies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm part of the Melee Online chat, and I should definitely utilize it more.
Yeah.
I don't remember what tier they have, like tiered groups or whatever.
You have like your base. I think it's advanced, expert, and then master.
Yeah, I'm an expert. I think.
Expert.
I mean, the people in there are incredible. So like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit.
I'm at the low end of
That's perfectly
advanced.
fine. They're
I'm at the-
nuts.
I'm at the low end of advanced. I'm sweating every set I play, man.
There's some nuts people in there.
Oh yeah.
Definitely some people that should be master.
Yep.
Well, once again, thank you for coming on and telling us all about the history of our area and your history throughout the decade,
I
right?
feel like I haven't. Oh, two.
Two decades,
We're going on
yeah.
two, man. Here in 3 years, I'd have been playing Melee for two decades.
Hell yeah.
Absurd. There's a point in time where I was losing to Toast, and I had been playing the game longer than he'd been alive.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I can't even fathom that, dude.
Should have quit a long time ago.
Oh.
You didn't tell Hungry Box about that one.
He'd let me stop.
Yeah,
He'd
yeah.
like, yeah, all right.
You'd be like, actually, never mind.
you
Never
can
mind.
quit.
Oh man.
Nah, but if I was 15 and had all the tools that he had, I'd be so fucking
Doing
good.
the same shit.
I'd be so fucking good.
All my free time would have been Melee back then.
Mine was. It's just I was playing by myself.
Yeah, and you had
On
to
fucking
travel.
vanilla Melee,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
Vanilla Melee.
OEMs.
Oh yeah. The worst of the worst.
Oh, yeah. No UCF, no nothing.
Hand warmers weren't a thing. Yeah. Played on fucking Brinstar and Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Mute City. Like, dude. Different world I lived in back then.
Those would be so fun to play on now. Oh, my God.
Yeah, April 1st.
The way people...
Yeah, that's true. I forgot they do that.
April 1st, you can play on all the bad stages. It's a great, good time.
If I remember right, unranked, it auto queues you on those stages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't have a choice?
Yep.
That's cool. I wonder how many people don't play on that day just because they're...
That's the day I played the most Melee.
That makes sense.
I was being a ranked junkie back when that happened.
Oh, I'm assuming rank bypasses that and you get to play
Yeah,
that makes sense. I think the first time they did that, rank wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah. I think rank came out a month after I started playing again.
Now that's some inspiration.
Oh, yeah. That's actually what convinced me fully to get back in. That and Robbie.
Yeah. The GOAT.
Yeah.
Shout out Robbie, Fort Wayne GOAT.
Yeah, but I do think right now, especially with the boot kind of pushing Rodney and I to travel more.
Yeah.
You know, we've been soft retired for so long. You know?
Hey, and you know, on my end, I'd be more than happy to get you guys out to stuff. So.
Yeah, my only issue now is that, well, not my only issue, but the main one is that I work every Saturday.
Yeah.
And my job is part of my schedule on Saturdays, so. My job's cool. I should be able to take days off for that, you know, just ahead of time. I took full bloom off, obviously.
Hell yeah.
I do have to apply for, or I do have to schedule off Afterburner. Yeah. But that's afterwards, so it should be perfectly fine.
Awesome. Fuck.
I'm gonna go home sick now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you.
Alright. How do we want to end it?
Just do our send-off.
Which is...
I think what we did last time.
Oh, yeah, Patreon. Blah, blah.
Yeah, Patreon, as well as when to expect the next post and whatnot.
The next post.
Next podcast.
Next podcast. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everybody, for watching and for all the support, all the likes and the comments. It means a lot to us, and we're very happy to do this and grow our scene and let everybody get connected. We recently started up a Patreon. We're going to have some exclusive content on there. We're going to try to get an extra video out of all of our guests. And those videos will be like Patreon exclusive for like the first week. But they will eventually make it to YouTube. So be on the lookout for those. Any support we receive, you know, we're thankful. We're just doing this for fun. You know, we're documenting our scene. We're documenting our. I can't say it. We're documenting our scene. There we go. But yeah, everybody, keep it real. See you at Full Bloom. See you at Afterburner, and whatever else is to come. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure to check out the Fort Wayne Weeklies with a $50 bonus pot.
Oh yeah, and pizza.
Heck yeah.
See y'all next time.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Thanks.